Hey y'all, welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. Today we are drinking Independence Harbor Amber Ale from Rockwall Brewing Company out of Rochester, New York. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer that we are drinking and reviewing. We are back to do that once again. I've got Andy in the attic who'd rather be watching Hopped Up Beer Review than actually be on the show. I've got Jay. I am Finn. What are we drinking today, gentlemen?
So we're gonna go to Is it Rockwall? Rock Harbor.
Rockwall Brewing.
Brewing, and having the Independence
Rockwall.
Harbor Amber Ale. A lot of words in there.
I brought this guy, but it's not needed. He's a twisty.
Oh, it's a twist off, huh?
Wow. Okay, I didn't see
We usually
that.
reserve those for the macro Mondays, huh?
Well, technically, this could be a macro.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, this is a beer that was provided by my sister-in-law, Amanda. She's given us a couple now here. So definitely appreciate that.
Cheers. Thank you, Amanda.
Yep. So if you're happy to be watching, thank you for another beer.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, mates.
Plural.
Cheers, mates.
It's a little delayed. I missed the memo on the glass here.
And the shirt.
Yeah.
Could have gone one of two ways. I mean,
Didn't go on
sure.
brand. I was completely off brand here.
So. Okay, so your sister-in-law wants to provide you beer that you think you can't, she thinks that you can't get
or haven't had.
Yes. Or haven't had.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this beer is pretty much now pretty soon going to be beer that nobody can have because it's no longer in production.
Right.
The Independence Harbor Amber Ale is an amber ale with honey added. I could not find much at all about this because the brewery line, Rockwall Brewing, has shuttered. Not just this beer is no longer being, but Rockwall Brewing is no longer a brewery. Backpedal, this is 5.5% amber ale with some honey. And I do like the line. Forget the tea, drink the ale. Oh, it's on the thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, Rockwall Brewing was developed in 2010 under Genesee Brewing out of Rochester, New York. So what I'm going to tell you is the mother company who started. It's kind of like was that Coors that did the Colorado Native line, stuff like that. A bigger brewery starts a smaller line, and we've done others that have done that, but that's the first one that comes to mind. So it started in 2010, and evidently, I meant to look at a date on this one. Did either of y'all see born on, brewed on, or drink by date?
No.
And yeah, nothing I can see is plastered on the bottle. So when did you obtain this? June, or 4 months ago?
Yeah, it's been a few months. It's been
Yeah,
probably June, July, probably somewhere in there.
Any clue when she purchased before giving to you, and where she purchased?
So she got it actually, I believe, in Alabama. I think, and just one of the local stores there. I don't know. Probably the grocery store. That seems to be where they've been down on the beach, likely. So,
Okay. So Genesee Brewing Company, and I hope I'm saying that right. Genesee, Rochester, New York. It was founded in 1878, but the facility at which it was brewed started as the Reisky and Spies Brewing in 1857, and when it was purchased it was changed to the Genesee because it's on the Genesee River there in Rochester, New York. They later changed the name in the year 2000 to High Falls Brewing Company after being sold to an employee investment group. And I think because one of the owners died and there was some turmoil fluctuation. So it was known as High Falls Brewing Company until 2009. Well, and let's see. It was so much confusing information. They changed it back to Genesee after it was acquired by KPS Capital and merged with Labatt USA. And they became North American Brewers, or NAB. Then in 2012, they were acquired by FIFCO, FIFCO, which is the Florida Ice and Farm Company out of Costa Rica. And that's how they became a macro. Genesee, the Independence Harbor. There's some other labels under the FIFCO. So Florida Ice and Farm Company is not out of Florida, the United States. It's out of Costa Rica. And it started in 1908 by brothers that were from Jamaica and who moved to Costa Rica. And they had focused on ice and agriculture. We're all over the place. This is nuts.
yeah.
So, I mean, you got Canada, you got Rochester, New York,
about a
by
defunct
way of Jamaica.
about a defunct beer and brewery now.
And
like
yet the name is
Kevin
Independence
Bacon.
Harbor.
Oh
So,
yeah,
you know,
it makes you think more the tea drink Boston. It
yeah,
makes you think of Boston,
I-
not New York.
Yeah.
no connection to Boston for this one.
Yeah.
Other than the label.
All right. What else?
Now that I think of it, I should have looked up where Independence Harbor is, but I was already invested so much time and disappointed so much by not hardly finding anything on Rockwall Brewing. I was just like, forget this. And now that I've foreshadowing into the very near future, now that I drink this, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't put enough more time.
Independence Harbor, according to Google, is in Massachusetts. So it's
Figures.
yeah.
Drink the tea, you're thinking Boston
Yeah.
tea party. Ringing that, is that a bell he's ringing, or is that what is this guy got in his hand?
I thought
Is
he
that a
had
hammer?
like a glass.
Looks like a hammer. Yeah.
I think you're right. I was thinking a glass from the picture that is a little grainy here on screen. All right, who has had this beer?
Oh, the camera just shifted.
It's going to start
There we
following me
go.
there. Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Why don't we just put one of these up for Ben?
No, we're not going to do that. So, no, I've had this beer because I had a 6-pack. So, I've had it a couple of times now. So, with that, Andy, you kind of alluded to this a little bit. So, why don't you go first for us?
It's okay. It tastes syrupy. It's like, a malt with some honey, but it makes it more syrupy. And I like ambers to be a little lighter, little more pop, and not so heavy. I mean, I'm 6. That's the best. That's the most I can give it. It's just, I mean, I guess I would have it again if somebody like, hey, that's what I got. I got macro and I've got this amber ale. Okay, I'll go with that. So it's got the malt character to it, but it's too syrupy tasting.
All right, Jay.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Andy, and you let it sit there for just a minute and don't take a sip. You get that honey added, and I'm not sure I really like an amber with honey. It's an
Yeah, it
odd
doesn't need it.
combination. It doesn't. I
Sweet
mean,
enough.
it's sweet and the malt character's there, like you said, but it's like this honey lingers on this one. Um, and maybe that's part of it. I do like that the bottle art. You know, we always talk about can art, bottle art. The logo and the little catchphrase there is really cool. Um, there's a lot of history going with this. I appreciate the lesson, Andy, but I'm with you. The malt character and the overage of the honey, it's a 6 for me. I can't go higher than that. You know, I'm not going to seek this out, and obviously not because it's no longer in production.
I think you
Don't
should
gotta
seek
worry
it
about
out.
it.
You should seek
But
it out. See how many you see how much
I
you can find.
do I do appreciate Amanda sharing it with us. So please tell her thank you.
Absolutely. Um. So yeah, you stole a little bit of my thunder there, Jay. The best part about this beer is the bottle art, can art, logo, whatever you want to call it. I think that is cool. I would probably have bought this beer for that alone. But even when I like read the bottle before I had it, and I'm seeing amber ale with honey added, I was just like, I don't know how that's going to come off. And I think for once I was probably right. It just doesn't mix well, like you guys said. It's it just misses the mark, and it comes off very, almost is cornstarchy in a way, and just that syrup flavor, like you mentioned, Andy. Um, so this was not one I was necessarily, having had it, was not necessarily excited to have again, but we do the show for you guys that are watching, right? So,
More pickle beer.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, when you see some dust on a bottle in a beer and it's got this label, just don't get it.
Yeah. So,
This is another one to add to Ben's playlist of crap beers that we have reviewed.
the whole point of this show is to try beer that we haven't had before, right?
Exactly.
So we're gonna get some. They're not all gonna be 10s. We haven't had a 10 out of the three of us yet. There's no perfect scores here.
No.
Some of them got to be bad. Okay, so I'm just trying to expand the spectrum a little bit, right? Everything can't be a 7.5. Just can't. With that, my score's a 5. I'd be hard pressed to drink this one again, even if you gave it to me. I probably would. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but it's just,
How many of you had?
I had a
You had a
6 pack.
pack?
Yeah. So I've had,
You've had 2. Now this makes 3.
yeah.
And then we have
So,
2.
You've got one more.
Yeah.
No. So I've had them all. This is the last one.
Okay, so you had 3 prior. So this is your
Yeah.
4th.
Yeah.
No. Well,
Yeah. This is my
yeah.
4th. Yeah. I'm not the math guy here. Yes, this is my 4th. And I'm somewhat happy to say this is my last.
My last, my final.
Yeah,
It's like
like
no more out of
I mean,
production.
obviously we have nothing else to judge Rockwall Brewing by, but this beer, and
I think we can all agree though that honey should only go in certain beers. And amber's probably not one of them because of the malt character.
IPAs.
IPAs, it does a great job of cutting some of that bitterness.
yeah,
And then there's maybe one or two others, but it doesn't belong in an amber or a sour or probably not in a pilsner or a lager. So
I would be really interested to have seen if this was like one of their like mainstays, right? Is this their
One of their
normal beer?
mainstays when I was looking, it was like a dog bite. It's like an IPA. They dealt in high gravity IPAs, I think they said, because their website was Dogbite HG, but then it redirected you to the FIFCO.
Yeah. And I guess why I say that is to say that if this is like a one-off that they said, hey, we're going to try to do an amber ale with honey in it. I mean, I got no problem them giving a shot, right? And this is, you know, if this is what comes out and this is like a, you know, a one-time beer, fine. If this is like one of the ones that they had all the time, then yeah.
I mean, it has 8,600 ratings on Untappd.
So
it's not. I don't think it's a one-off.
Yeah, yeah. So it makes a lot of sense why you probably won't be able to find it. So if you're watching this show, take our word for it. That is going to be a 5.7 for the now filled in Independence Harbor. You can't get it anymore. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to take our word for it unless you find it, as we have said.
Your local Aldi.
Yeah, with a lot of dust on it. So yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. We kind of said it all. I should just move on. I'm not quite ready for that yet, Jay. But to that point, if you've had it, let us know down in the comments what you think about it. If you come across it in the wild, just get something else. And check out all of our links down below for social media. Check out our links for our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. It is a chat room, and you can come join us there. If you have any interesting Hopped Up Beer Review merch, Jay's got a good bit of it there. He's showing off, and Andy as well. Check that link out below. Andy is, very bored by our merch, apparently. If you have any interest in any of the equipment that we use for the show or any of the special glassware that we have purchased from other places, we've got some links for that too. Lastly, please be sure to like, subscribe, and cheers that notification bell. It is free to do. We would appreciate it. Thanks for watching this show. For Andy in the attic and Jay, I am Ben. Cheers, Amanda, for the beer. We definitely do appreciate that.
Cheers, Amanda. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.